we get started with the video, I'd like to inform you of a very useful tool called the ENB FXAA SweetFX Manager and Remover, which is a tool that will automatically uninstall your ENB files for you with the click of a button. To learn more about this amazing tool, check out my video tutorial on how to use it if you're interested. Thanks for listening, and now onto the video. Hey everyone, it's me, Heisennburgg. And today we're going to be taking a look at Off ENB, the Nirn CGI, Climates of Tamriel, Pure Weather, and ELFX Ready version. And this was a requested tutorial by a subscriber of mine, so shout out to the subscriber that requested this. But before we get started with the installation process, there are a couple things that I would like to talk about before actually going over the installation process, because there are a couple things that you need to know. First off, this has nothing to do with the installation process, but I just want to apologize in advance. I actually have the flu right now, if you can't tell. Like, I'm nasally as shit, and I sound like a hot mess, so I'm gonna apologize for that in advance. I kinda just wanted to go ahead and release a video so you guys didn't have to go without one for a while, so that's why I decided to go ahead and upload one. So again, I apologize for that. And another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is right in the title, it says that it's meant to be used with Climates of Tamriel, Pure Weather, and ELFX. Other lighting mods or weather mods are not supported, so use them at your own risk. Obviously, Climates of Tamriel and Pure Weather are two different weather mods, so you can use either one, and then ELFX is the lighting mod. For the people that use Realistic Lighting Overhaul, you could use it, but the screen, it's not going to look, the ENB is not going to look as intended. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. And then another thing, for the people that do like the immersive, like hardcore playthroughs, if you were looking for like the Darker Nights version, there's a link you can click on right here that'll take you to the author's blog, and you can download it from there. You can still follow my installation process if you are interested in downloading the Darker Nights version. So there's that. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see under Important Details, it'll tell you that this ENB was meant to be used with a specific NVIDIA driver to get the proper ambient occlusion working. It is, however, not required, and I will not be using it. But if you click on this link right here, it'll take you to a very detailed description of how to get the driver working correctly. And there's also an AMD equivalent that you could do for the people that have AMD video cards. But like I said, I'm not going to be doing that because I think the game looks perfectly fine without it. This is pretty much just for people who want to get the screenshots to look exactly like the authors. But I think it looks perfectly fine without it, so I'm not going to be covering it. But however, if anybody wanted to do it, you're more than welcome to. But I don't really feel like it's necessary. So so that's really all I needed to say, I guess, before we get started with the installation. If I think of anything, I'll just go ahead and mention it real quick, but enough about that. I'll go ahead and start getting into the video. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to head over to the page, and you can click on the link in the description for it. And you'll notice that if you search Off ENB on Nexus, it'll have a whole bunch of different ENBs for it. The process is pretty much the same for all of them. I'm just choosing the most popular because people want that one the most. Like I said, the installation processes are pretty much going to be the same for all of them. Just some of them may use different binaries and older binaries, so you're more than welcome to try and follow along. I'm not guaranteeing that all of them are the same, but you can give it a try and let me know if you're deciding to try one of the other ones. But make sure you're clicking the most popular, the one with the most downloads. And we're going to scroll down a little bit, and under required files right here, it says you can get the ENB series binary file here, and we're going to right click that and open link a new tab. And usually it would take us to a an enbdev.com page, but the author has wants to keep all the binaries in one place. And the current version is version 262, so that's the version that I'm going to be doing. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And, well, apparently it will take us to ENBDev. So go ahead and click News, and then click Download on the sidebar here. And then scroll down a little bit, and then click TES Skyrim. And then click version 262. And then make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and click the download arrow, because recently there's been ads on this page that have a download button that you can click on, but it's actually an ad, and ads aren't good. So make sure you're clicking the download arrow. And you're going to need something that installs archives to download this, so you could download WinRAR or 7-zip. And like always, there'll be a link that for either program in the description. Both programs are free. For the purpose of these videos, I use both programs, but pick whichever one you like better. So whichever program you choose, you'll get a pop-up like this. And when you do, I'm going to have you go to your desktop and hit backspace and drag and drop the archive on your desktop. And what I'm going to have you do with the archive now is I'm going to have you turn it into a folder. And you can right-click it, and if you use WinRAR, you can click this third option right here. If you use 7-zip, bring down your menu and click the fourth option right here. And like I said, it's going to turn it into a folder, which is what we want. It just makes copying and pasting and everything a lot easier. And once you've turned it into a folder, you can go ahead and delete the archive. And we can go ahead and bring up our internet browser and close out of ENBDev. And what we're going to do now is we're going to scroll up to the top of the ENB page and click the Files tab. And then we're going to manually download the only ENB file under the main file section. And then under optional files, if you weren't satisfied with the regular depth of field that comes with the ENB by default, you could manually download the optional depth of field. I'm not going to be doing that because I just happen to like the regular depth of field. And you could just go ahead and ignore the other 3 files under optional files, because I'm not going to be covering those. So make sure that you just download the one under main files. And if you wanted to, download the optional depth of field. But once the far off ENB archive is done installing, you're going to get a pop-up that looks like this. And just like we did with the binary archive, we're going to hit backspace and drag and drop it onto our desktop, and we're going to be turning this into a folder as well. So again, right-click on it. If you use WinRAR, click this third option right here. If you use 7-zip, bring down your menu and click this fourth option right here. And again, it's going to be turned into a folder, and we can delete the archive once it's finished extracting. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be locating our Skyrim folder. And for the people that, if this is your first video of mine that you're watching, I cover both Nexus Mod Manager and Mod Organizer installations. So if you're using Nexus Mod Manager, an easy way to locate your Skyrim folder would be to bring up your Mod Manager and click this orange folder right here, and you're going to get a drop-down menu. Go ahead and click Open Game Folder, and it'll take you right to it. You'll know you're in the correct place if you see Skyrim Launcher and TESV. If the .exe is not there, don't worry about it. It's the same thing either way. Just make sure you're not in your data folder where all your mods are. If you use Mod Organizer, there's not really going to be a button that you can click on, unfortunately. But this little information bar down here, if you scroll up a little bit, it'll tell you what letter drive it's on, and then Programs, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and Skyrim. So it's obviously going to be wherever you installed Steam. So once you get there, it's going to look something like this. And we can go ahead and minimize this for right now. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to go ahead and open up the version 262 folder. And I'm going to be doing the wrapper version installations. There'll be an annotation that you can click on right about now that'll take you to an Injector version tutorial. Some people may need to use the Injector version if you experience like a lot of crashing, or if your game just doesn't load up at all. It's probably due to you having to use the Injector version. So again, click on the annotation if you require the Injector version. So go ahead and open up the wrapper version, and we're only going to need one file out of here, which is the d3d9.dll file, and we can go ahead, right click and copy, and then we can close out of there and bring up our Skyrim folder, and then we can paste that in there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the Off ENB folder. And as you can see, we're going to have like a data folder in here, some other folders, and then a whole bunch of files. Well, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you highlight everything in this folder except for data. So please make sure data is unhighlighted. Go ahead and right click and copy these, and then paste them into your Skyrim folder. And what I'm going to have you do now with the data folder is I'm going to have you right click on it, and if you use WinRAR, go ahead and click Add to Archive. If you use 7-zip, bring down your menu and click Add to Archive, and you're going to get a menu that looks something like this. And obviously name it something pertaining to the ENB's data files, so I'm going to name mine Off ENB Data and click Enter, and it's going to make it into an archive for you. And you can go ahead and drag and drop that archive onto your desktop, and we can go ahead and close out of the Off folder. And if you use Nexus Mod Manager, go ahead and bring up Nexus Mod Manager and go to your Mods tab and click the Add Mod from File puzzle piece and go to your desktop or wherever you extracted it to and go ahead and open up the Off ENB data and click Open, and it'll add it in here for you as if you downloaded it with Manager off of Nexus. Go ahead and activate that once you've added it in there. If you use Mod Organizer, go ahead and bring it up. And in the top left-hand corner, go ahead and click the CD with the box behind it, and go to your desktop tab or wherever you extracted it. Again, click Off ENB Data, and then go ahead and click Manual. And if you notice, it says No Game Data on top level. Well, we're going to right-click on Data and click Set Data Directory, and then we'll get the green Looks Good message. Click OK. And if we scroll down to the bottom of our mods list, we can go ahead and activate it, and it'll be good to go. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and delete all 3 of these folders and archives because we're done with it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to tweak our any files. So if we go back to the Off ENB page and click the description, I'll show you guys what to do next. So if we scroll down to this piece right here, next to F gamma, it says that you can go ahead and mess with the brightness in game if you wanted to. This is just what the author had it as. So once we go in game and test this ENB out, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and mess around with the in-game brightness. But Nexus Mod Manager users, I'm going to show you how to locate your INI files, and then Mod Organizer users, I'll show you where to find yours. So if you use Nexus Mod Manager, go down to your Start button and click Documents, and then click My Games, and then click Skyrim, and then you'll see Skyrim.ini and SkyrimPrefs.ini. Again, if you don't see the .ini there, don't worry about that. We're going to be opening up Skyrim Prefs, and I highly recommend that you install a program called Notepad++. There'll be a link that you can click on in the description. It's 100% free, and it just makes your life a whole lot easier. But either way, we're going to be editing it. And if you use Mod Organizer, go ahead and bring up Mod Organizer and click this 4 puzzle piece thingy right here, and you'll get a drop-down menu. Click Any Editor, and you'll see a Skyrim.ini tab and a Skyrim Prefs. Go ahead and click the Prefs. And I'm going to show Nexus Mod Manager users a really easy way to tweak your INI settings. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for Nexus Mod or for Mod Organizer users. But basically, if you use Nexus Mod Manager, you're going to go to the page and you're going to double-click on the setting, and it's going to highlight it for you. And then you do Control-C to copy it, and then go back to Notepad and do Control-F to bring up a Find menu, and then Control-V to paste it. And then click Find Next or press Enter, and it'll find the setting automatically for you. It's supposed to equal 1.04, but since I don't use Nexus Mod Manager, I can just leave all of these at the default, and I'm going to have to do all of my editing in Mod Organizer. The the Control F command, it works sometimes for me, so it may work for you. It doesn't always work for me. I actually just got really lucky just now. But if you do the Control F command and then Control V, it'll find it for you. Hopefully it'll find it for you. Like I said, it doesn't always work. So it's supposed to equal 1.04, so let me go ahead and change that. Actually, it may have just been included in the update, because I know Mod Organizer just got updated a couple days ago, so that may be why it's working. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and tweak the next setting. So double click to highlight it, Control C, Control F, Control V. Change it to 1 if it's not already at 1. Double click, Control C, Control F, Control V. And if the setting isn't here by default, go ahead and add it manually. And since I use Mod Organizer, I'm not going to add it in my Notepad. Control C, Control F, Control V. Control C, Control F, Control V. Control C, Control F, Control V, and then B shadows on grass. If this is your first time installing an ENB, the setting isn't going to be there by default, so make sure you add it and have it equal 1. Control C, Control F, Control V. Alright, so Mod Organizer users, if you had to tweak anything, go ahead and click the Save button and then close out. Nexus Mod Manager users, File, Save, or Control S and then close out. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be editing our ENBLOCAL.INI files. So go ahead and bring up your Skyrim folder where we copied and pasted all the ENB files to. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a file called the ENBLOCAL, and it may or may not have the .ini at the end of it. Either way, we're going to be editing that. And the two files that we're going to be editing are RESERVEDMEMORYSIZEMB and VIDEOMEMORYSIZEMB. Now, for both of these settings, down in the description, I'm going to have a diagram with a whole bunch of numbers and what these settings mean and what numbers you use for them. For the people that need help, because I know these two settings can really throw people off sometimes, and I understand why. They can be a little confusing. So if you need help with these two numbers and you can't figure it out, go ahead and follow my diagram in the description. But RESERVEDMEMORYSIZEMB, I don't really know the technical term to explain it, but I just know that 512 is a good baseline to start at if you have over 2 gigabytes of VRAM. If you have less than 2 gigabytes, 256 is a good baseline to start at, so 5112 is what I'm going to be starting at. This number, the lowest that you can use is 128, and the highest you can use is 10024, or 1024. And it can be increased in intervals of 128. So if you experience a lot of stuttering or a lot of freezes or lag, you can go ahead and edit this number. But again, 512 is a pretty good baseline to start at, so I wouldn't really stress out too much about this number. Again, follow my diagram in the description if you need help. And then VIDEOMEMORYSIZEMB is how much VRAM your system has, and I have 3 gigabytes. So 3072 is going to be my number, and I have the correct numbers for 1 through 4 gigabytes of VRAM, and if you have like a high-end card like the Titan or whatever, and it has like 6 gigabytes, you would just increase this in intervals of 1024. So yeah, like let's just say you had 6 gigabytes, you would do 4096 and then plus 1024 twice, and then you would get your number. But again, like I've just said like 1500 times, there's a diagram that you can follow in the description down below if you get confused. So once you've edited these two settings that you need to edit, File, Save, and then close out. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our mod manager, whichever one you're using, Mod Organizer or Nexus Mod Manager. We're going to check our plugins real quick. And we got to make sure that the 5 plugins that come with this ENB are all check marked. So it comes with the ELE, Spell and Torch, ENB Snow Effects, Opeth Torch, Rain Fog Storm Fix, and Tweak Fog something else. So make sure all of those are checked marked and go ahead and run Loot or run Boss, whatever you use. And once you've go ahead and did that, you can go ahead and go in game and check it out for yourself. So once this gets all sorted out, I'll go ahead and load up my game for you guys. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, so once you've loaded up your game, you should see this message in your top left hand corner. If you don't get that message, you did something wrong, so make sure you go back and follow my steps exactly as I've done them. Followed by a message telling you if you press Shift and Enter by default, it'll bring up an editor menu. And this is basically called your GUI menu, and you can tweak the ENB however you want through here. If you go under the Effect tab, you can enable settings and disable settings for performance reasons, like if you need to save a couple extra FPS, you can uncheck some of these settings. So that's a pretty cool little feature. And then Shift Enter to get out of the menu. And then if you press the star key on your number pad, it'll bring up an FPS counter in your top left hand corner, but for some reason it's not working for me right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up my game just so you guys can see what this looks like. So I'll see you guys once my game is all loaded up. Alright guys, so once you've loaded up your game, you should be able to immediately tell that the ENB is working. Let me go ahead and put God mode on real quick because I'm over encumbered. But yeah, if you press Shift and F12, it'll turn the ENB off. So like if you had to turn it off for performance reasons, or if you just wanted to compare the ENB to vanilla Skyrim, that's how you do it. And then Shift F12 to turn the ENB back on. And then as you can see, this ENB definitely aims for the more like fantasy type look, almost like an anime type look in your game. But if you needed to, the author says that you can go ahead and mess around with your in-game brightness if you had to. I'm not going to because I think mine looks perfectly fine. But yeah, if you wanted to make it lighter or darker, just go ahead and mess around with that. But yeah guys, that's how you download and install Far Off ENB, and like I said, this was a requested tutorial, and I have like probably around 10 ENB requests to make videos on right now, and I don't mind doing it at all. I really enjoy doing the requested tutorials because it gives me something, to do, and it makes me like, you know, some things that my viewers want to see pretty much, so I really enjoy doing stuff like that. So yeah guys, I believe my next ENB tutorial is going to be either bleak or unbleak, unless I have one that was requested earlier. I can't remember, I'm going to have to check my checklist. But yeah guys, if you have like an ENB that you would like me to make a tutorial on, all you have to do is leave it in the comments or send me a message and I'll get back to you on it as soon as I can. Like I just said, I really enjoy making these tutorials for you guys. I want to make you guys the Skyrim content that you want to see, so don't be afraid to ask. But yeah guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope this video was easy enough for you to understand. So if you have any questions or if you need any help, all you have to do is leave me a comment or send me a message, and I'll try and help you out in the best way that I can. So again, this has been Heisennburgg on how you download and install Far Off ENB, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.